The sovereign conscience, a charter for freedom, secularism, and autonomous belief. The quest for meaning, ethical grounding, and ultimate purpose is the singular, defining characteristic of the human experience. It is within this profound interior landscape that the freedom of conscience resides, an inherent, inalienable right of every person to seek, question, establish, and practice their personal beliefs, or to maintain a philosophical stance of non-belief. This freedom is not a charitable grant from the state or any institution. It is the intrinsic foundation of human dignity and intellectual autonomy. Its protection is not merely a legal nicety, but the prerequisite for all other civil liberties, ensuring that the mind is free before it is asked to consent to the social contract. The secular state, the neutral guardian of pluralism, secular governance, and its practical application as laicism, must be understood not as a worldview itself, but as the essential political technology designed to maximize freedom of conscience for all citizens. Its function is to construct a principled wall of separation between the institutions of faith and the apparatus of the state. The double guarantee of neutrality. This institutional separation yields two crucial protections that safeguard both the individual and the collective. Shielding the citizen from coercion, a truly secular state refuses to endorse, fund, or privilege any specific religion, philosophy, or political theological doctrine. It ensures that no citizen is ever compelled by law or state action to financially support, adhere to, or participate in belief systems they reject. This prevents the state from becoming an instrument of doctrinal enforcement, upholding the right to dissent, skepticism, and nonconformity as core civic virtues. Protecting the autonomy of belief. By maintaining rigorous neutrality, the state is simultaneously prevented from interfering in the internal affairs, liturgies, or theological definitions of religious and belief communities. This safeguards the vitality and independence of these groups, guaranteeing that their internal governance is self-directed, free from political manipulation or control. The secular public sphere is therefore not a sterile vacuum of belief, but a shared common ground where citizens of all worldviews meet as political and legal equals. It is governed by universal laws rooted in reason and human rights, making a vibrant pluralism possible, where diversity is not a problem to be managed but a public good, a collective reservoir of varying perspectives and ethical inquiry. 2. The autonomy of belief, sovereignty, and self-determination. The process of forming personal convictions is an exercise in self-sovereignty, an inalienable right paired with a profound personal responsibility. Authentic belief is not merely an inherited or passive position. It must be actively examined, synthesized, and personally owned. The practice of dynamic conscience. This process demands intellectual courage, constant reflection, and curiosity. The pursuit of meaning is inherently self-directed. It cannot be delegated to an authority figure or institution without the individual sacrificing the very authenticity of their spiritual or philosophical path. This dynamic, internal journey manifests through diverse methodologies: disciplined study, meditative practice, prayer, service, artistic creation, or even purely rational scientific inquiry. It is a process of continuous revision, where beliefs are tested, adapted, synthesized with new knowledge, or set aside entirely as the individual evolves. A society that honors this autonomy of belief recognizes that the path to profound truth is multifaceted, and that each individual's hard-won ethical and spiritual insight enriches the collective human wisdom. Expanding the frontier, innovation, and synthesis. The freedom of conscience extends beyond the right to maintain ancient traditions with fidelity. It includes the right to innovate, synthesize, blend, and entirely conceive of new spiritual or philosophical practices. This creative liberty is fundamental to humanity's ongoing project of meaning-making. In an era of global interconnectedness, the synthesis of ideas is a natural and vital impulse. No external authority, be it governmental, religious, or cultural, possesses the legitimate power to define the acceptable contours of an individual's inner life or to stifle the external, rights-respecting expressions of that life. Such attempts constitute a direct violation of personal sovereignty. 3. Navigating tensions, the ethical boundaries of action. The coexistence of radically diverse worldviews inevitably generates tension. The fundamental principles of a pluralistic society provide the ethical framework for resolving these conflicts, requiring a shared commitment to civic virtue. The limitation of harm, action versus belief. The freedom to believe is absolute and non-negotiable. Thought itself cannot be policed. However, the freedom to act on those beliefs is necessarily bounded by the fundamental rights, safety, and human dignity of others. Practices that incite violence, advocate for hatred, systematically deny essential human rights, such as equality before the law, or violate the physical integrity of others can never be justified under the guise of religious expression. The state's legitimate power is applied to harmful action, not to belief or intention. The mandate for robust public discourse. A mature, pluralistic society requires a culture of open, vigorous dialogue where philosophical and religious ideas can be subjected to challenge, critique, and rational defense with both rigor and empathy. The appropriate societal response to objectionable speech is almost always more speech, not censorship, provided that speech remains below the legal threshold of incitement or hate speech. This principle ensures that the marketplace of ideas remains open, preventing any single doctrine, secular or religious, from achieving unchallenged dominance. Civic participation and universal principles. Secular governance demands the active engagement of all citizens, irrespective of their personal beliefs, in shaping the common good. The responsibility of citizenship in a diverse democracy is to participate in public life based on shared, universal principles of justice, equity, and human rights, not on the imposition of sectarian dogma. This commitment ensures that legislation and policy are crafted for the welfare of all, reinforcing the bonds of a shared civic life. Conclusion: empowered coexistence and the future of freedom. The interdependent pillars of religious freedom, individual autonomy, and secular governance are the essential, interlocking framework for a just, peaceful, and progressive society. They simultaneously secure the sanctity of the individual conscience and build a robust structure for collective life that honors, rather than erodes, our profound differences. To uphold this charter is to affirm that the quest for meaning is the ultimate human journey, a journey that must be undertaken in unfettered freedom. It is a choice for a future where every person is empowered to seek truth on their own terms, and where our philosophical and religious diversity is correctly understood, not as a fault line to be managed, but as a source of collective wisdom and the strongest possible testament to the boundless potential of the human spirit.